What's going on, guys? Killer6 back with a Borderlands 3 top 10 list. In this one, I'm picking the 10 best legendary pistols in Borderlands 3. This list is based largely on how well these guns perform across all characters, irregardless of your build or playstyle. So even though a gun might be the absolute best on your Elemental Amara or your Crypt build Flak, it doesn't mean that all other characters would get equal satisfaction from using it. So without further ado, here we go. Coming in at number 10, starting things off with a sort of controversial pick, since a lot of the better players absolutely hate the Infinity Pistol for one reason or another. When the game first came out, this gun was extremely weak, but with the recent patch and the damage that it has been increased, this gun is actually quite decent now. So this gun does decent damage over time, and obviously the main appeal to the Infinity is that it never runs out of ammo, so therefore time spent shooting and not reloading. But it does shoot in the shape of an infinity symbol, making it less accurate for moderate range. It can spawn in all the elements or be non-elemental, which means it could be a solid option on most characters and builds. Coming in at number 9 is the Hellshock. This Maliwan pistol allows you to switch between shock or fire damage, but it also has a cool special ability. Shots will ricochet as the other element, meaning if you're using shock and you miss a shot, or you shoot the floor in front of an enemy, the ricochet will become a fire projectile, and same if you're shooting fire, the ricochet becomes a shock projectile. And it's hard to argue that fire and shock aren't the two most commonly needed elements in this game at launch, as probably upwards of 90% of the enemies in the game are weak to fire, and of course shock is there to rip down the shield. The main problem with this gun is, since it's Maliwan, it has charge up time before you're shot, meaning that is time that you lose not shooting. Also, the projectiles on this gun feel fairly slow, so moving targets are a bit tricky at times, and this gun's still a great choice for all characters with this combination of elements and its cool special ability, but in the hands of Amara, this gun is godly. Coming in at number 8 is the Flood. Now, this Jacob's pistol is one of those guns that people either seem to love or hate. It's a high fire rate, full auto Jacob's pistol. Now, if you're good at controlling recoil, then this might be much higher on your list, since this gun does amazing damage in short time, but it will also eat up your ammo in short time. If you're like me and you have trouble controlling kick, then you're also likely to be missing as many shots as you're hitting. Now, luckily, the reload is exceptionally fast, and this gun's a lot of fun to use in fast-paced gunfights like when you're mobbing through areas, but it's not the best choice in every situation. At number 7, finally, a Torgue pistol makes the list. The Devastator is possibly the closest gun in the game to an Unkempt Herald. Good damage, slow projectiles, and high ammo consumption. Does decent splash damage and has a very low accuracy. Now, I know that all sounds kind of bad, but then you actually use this gun and you watch it blow dudes apart, and suddenly it's not so bad after all. Is it as good as an Unkempt Herald? Not even close, but it's as close as we're getting right now in the game. So maybe if you luck out and you get one with a Terror anointment that gives extra projectile while under the effects of Terror, maybe, but that's a pretty niche thing. All in all, this gun is extremely powerful and pretty fun to use at that. At number 6, the Linoge. The Linoge. If this list was purely up to me, I would probably omit this gun from the list. It eats up your ammo, it's extremely inaccurate, and it just generally feels terrible for most mobbing situations compared to other guns on this list. But if you treat this gun like it's a shotgun and you get right up in people's faces, it will absolutely wreck. Also, for large targets like bosses and badasses, this gun will destroy them. For that reason alone, I felt compelled to bump this thing up in the list. You can add to that Mose and Amara both have builds that make this thing destroy even harder, plus Flak can make every single one of these projectiles from his gun be a crit, and well, you get the idea. Coming at number 5, you're probably thinking that the Devastator at number 7 was as good as it was going to get for Torgue pistols, and you could easily argue that this one, the Devil's Foursome, could flip spots and nobody would truly complain about that, but I put this one up a bit higher because of how good it is once you know how to use it. The very first time I found this gun in the game, I made the mistake of just trying to shoot enemies. But nah, that's not really how you use this one. Instead, you want to shoot the ground around them and watch them die. This gun only uses 1 ammo per shot and does exceptional damage. The main drawback is that the mag size is only 6, but again, this can be mitigated by using class mods, skill tree perks, or artifacts that increase your mag size. Another perk to this gun is that it can spawn in all the elements, making it vastly more useful in more situations and builds. Coming in number 4, it's time for more Jacob's pistols, and up first is the companion. This bad boy is a fire elemental Jacob, similar to the Greed from Borderlands 2, but the trick is that this gun only applies the element on critical hits. It also doesn't do the normal Jacob's gimmick of bullets ricocheting on crits. All that said, this gun just tears it up. Shielded enemies, armored enemies, enemies wearing nothing but a pair of flip-flops, it doesn't matter, this gun will kill it. The only real downside of this gun is that it is always iron sights only, and I hate iron sights generally in this game, but that's not even a problem with this gun since it's still extremely easy to be accurate with. Coming in at number 3, another Jacob's gun. This one is the Duke. Now, I commonly mispronounce this as the Duck, since it's D-U-C, and I don't know why, but in my mind that sounds like duck. But this Jacob's pistol is named after one of the Gearbox devs that worked on the game, and the red text is actually something that he would say quite often while working on projects. What separates this gun from so many other weapons on this list is that it has several really cool things that it does. Now first, it's a Jacob's pistol that shoots sticky rounds. Normally the sticky rounds are reserved for Torg items, but this is a Jacob's gun that actually does that as well. Now, those sticky rounds can actually crit enemies on contact. Another cool thing is that those sticky rounds can explode, obviously, doing even more damage. And third, critical hits with this gun will ricochet not 1 bullet, but 2 toward nearby enemies. You combine that with the high base damage and the fast reload, and you can see why so many people love this gun. Coming in at number 2, this one is probably going to be a surprise to a lot of people, but the Skeksil is a COV pistol, and those don't tend to get much love in this community at the moment, but what makes this one so good is its damage, mag size, and potential to be available in all elements, and combine that with the fact that you can get this gun via a fast and easy farm, whether you just started playing the game or you're a level 50 badass looking to get the best gear. This gun excels at mobbing, and it holds its own very well versus bosses and other large targets. So if you want one of the best pistols in the game that also happens to be one of the easiest to get, check out my farming guide for the Skeksil. It's going to be either posted at the top of the screen as a card on this video or down in the description below, or you can just check my playlist for Borderlands 3 item guides and find it there. The Skeksil just wrecks. Find it, use it, love it. For the honorable mentions, I wanted to highlight again that in the right build, almost any pistol in this game can be amazing. So just because it doesn't make my list doesn't mean that it's not a good pistol. That said, my honorable mentions are the Pestilence, the Linc, AAA, Hornet, Kings and Queens Call, and the Wagon Wheel. All those are great weapons, but just not quite as good, in my opinion, as the other guns that actually made this list. Finally, coming in at number 1, the Maggie. This Jacob's pistol is without a doubt the best of the bunch. High mag size, amazing damage, easy recoil to control, exceptional for mobbing, and damned good for bosses and badasses. There's not a build on any of the characters that I'm aware of that cannot make good use of a Maggie. The Maggie is undoubtedly back to its glory as the best pistol in the game after Gearbox recently buffed it. For a while there, Mashers were even better than Maggies, and I'm thrilled to say that, Gearbox heard our voices loud and clear and buffed the Maggie up. Now, unfortunately, like with a large majority of the best items in the game, this one, at the time of this video, was only available as a world drop, meaning you can farm it via any lootable source in the game, usually bosses like Graveward, Gigamine, Tron, and places like the Slaughter Shaft are usually the best spots to look for it. Now that said, in less than a month from the time of this video being released, Gearbox has confirmed that they are fixing dedicated drop sources for the game. So that means that the Maggie should have a farmable source, and once it does, you can bet your butt I'm going to be tracking down the best anointed version that I can find. So hope you guys enjoyed this top 10 legendary pistols in Borderlands 3 list. Let me know down in the comment section what your favorite pistol is and why. If you enjoyed this video, then please take a second to hit that like button. It means the world to me. Hit subscribe, tap the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all take care.